think it kind of, these are older, these are grown men. This is like these are
Yeah.
40, these are 40s plus. This is not under 30 shit. This is 40s plus that this happening. I'm sorry, I gotta take a jab. Nobody in their 50s should have a non-select movement. Yeah, I
Exactly.
said it.
Rawclusive.
What is missing, not in the black manosphere or manosphere, but what is missing in black YouTube today? Because it almost seems as if it's like some cats still don't get it and the young cats don't get it. Cats are calling us bedrock niggas because apparently we have traditional values, but we know how to adapt to some modern shit and we succeed. So if you pretty much had to like go ahead and give an idea of what's needed in the space or even the black manosphere, we can talk about that. What's missing, you think?
What's missing? It's a lot of stuff missing, but
Yeah, let's go in. Let's go. Take it. Let's take it.
um,
We probably gonna get some smoke after this shit. At the point, I'm like, well, I really don't give a fuck anymore. But let's go ahead and talk about it, man.
I just think probably the biggest thing that's missing is this sense of actual masculinity, what it actually means to be a man, what you're supposed to do, and just going out there and just handling your business accordingly, trying to get your life in order so that you can hopefully put yourself on an upward trajectory so that you can create options and opportunities in your life and hopefully minimize BS and distractions, which will hopefully eradicate the use of excuses people love to come up with, whether they're blaming black women, white people, or whoever it is, whatever random boogeyman that they can come up with at the moment. So
Right.
I think that's what's really going on here. You got a lot of dudes in this space, and it seems like it's just as of recently, it's just started to happen within the manosphere. I've been around these spaces since like at least 2016, and it really wasn't that bad back
No,
then, or
what?
maybe it was, and it was just more concealed. But
Mm.
being that when live streaming hit the scene, I think it may have opened the floodgates up for a lot of what I like to call weirdos to come out the closet,
I agree.
and they're exuding a lot of these what I like to describe as feminine traits, to where they would rather just point the finger at any and everybody instead of looking in the mirror to figure out what exactly can you control and work on, as opposed to you just pointing the finger at the downfall of your community, society, or just the world in general. And
Mhm.
people don't want to do those things because oftentimes it's going to require you to have, like I say, have a hard look in the mirror, and you're going to have to devise a real plan or a real strategy to get your life going, which entails you having to go out there and do a lot of boring work that
Yep.
nobody's going to commend you on. Everybody wants to be celebrated and praised for being the loudest out here, or just seem like they got something going on. But if you really want real change, and whatever however you define change, it oftentimes requires a lot of tedious, mundane work that nobody's gonna pat you on the back and cheer you on until you become somewhat famous or you start making a lot of money, and that can take a long time. Very few people it's gonna happen to overnight, but I just think that's what's going on, and so people don't want to go through these processes that have been going on for generations. They want instant gratification because they see somebody getting shine on social media, so they want to be popping, or they want to do
Yeah.
this, or they want to do that. And if it doesn't go their way, then they want to start whining and crying and blaming everybody else. That's
Mm.
one of the big main issues that I see taking place, is just this overall lack of masculinity. This can be tied into everything from professional aspirations to personal relationships. It's just a constant, never-ending. It's their fault. It's somebody else's fault. It's never my fault.
We have seen that space from the point of its inception, 1.0, 2.0, however you want to call it, to the point where everything was pretty much informative, whether it was like, money, economics, finances, and if you want to bring Kevin Samuels into the mix, image. That's
Yeah,
usually how it was. But like you said, when the live panel started popping, brothers came in, and next thing you know, they started complaining about women. So you created an umbrella of, we'll just say, masculinity. Now let's go ahead and go with the first branch. We already went with the whole complaining about women. That is what you're seeing.
Yeah.
Now we're talking about black men wanting having this hard on for holding black women accountable in content. And you and I both know ain't no black women listening to that shit anyway. They're not listening to a panel full of avatars for
Mhm.
2 to 3 fucking hours. It's not happening. The women are gone, the women are out. I mean, you and I, we might chime in and be like 5 minutes, we're like, fuck, okay, I'm done with this shit. Let me go, we're gonna go work on my own content right now.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's what we do. So, first branch, masculinity. I'm
Mhm.
gonna go ahead and create this shit. I already know I'm gonna get smoked. So, but let's go ahead and talk about the vagina envy first. All
Mhm.
right, vagina envy. I remember one of the discussions in the Black Manosphere / Black YouTube was, should black women be allowed to collab in the Black Manosphere? And there
Mhm.
was a lot of no's. And from what I've seen is all of those no's came because a lot of these women, call them pick me's or whatever, they'll get on and they jump to like 10,000, 20,000 fast. I believe Melanie King, the new one, I think she's stretching to nearly 50 right now. So she might hit 100.
Wow.
So is that actually causing a little bit of envy coming from, the supporters or the content creators themselves in the Black Manosphere?
Oh, of course it is. Like you said, you mentioned old girl. I'm vaguely familiar with her, but there's another one I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, Jessica X. Nobody even knows if she's a real person. We just know of her as an avatar.
Right.
We're starting to call her Computer X now, but no shade to the woman. But she's not even
Nigga,
from
that
this
was, nigga,
country.
that was super shade. But it was good though.
It probably was. But she's not even from this country, and nobody knows what she looks like, but
Right.
she's popping on YouTube and she's making money. If you watch her videos, I'm pretty sure her super chats stay lit.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not sub to her, but I've heard from other people. But
I
yeah,
believe it.
that's gonna make some of these other dudes feel a certain type of way, who feel like, hey, I'm supposed to be getting the views, I'm supposed to be getting the money. This is supposed to be a space centered around black male thoughts and ideas. But here we got the BWs, even the foreign BWs or whatever, coming in, and they're snatching our audience space. And it's like, well, I can understand that, your sentiments, but at the same time, you gotta just keep it a buck here. Nobody, we've been hearing dudes in this space whine about BWs for a very long time now.
Right.
People might just want to hear something different. You can't control what the audience wants to do. If the audience doesn't want to rock with the women, they're not going to support them. But obviously, they want to rock with the women. But then you also have to understand, some of these women have an advantage. They're women. Some of them are actually attractive. Like
Yeah, we want to see
Melanie,
some pretty face. We want to see some eye candy.
Melanie King. She's a real person. I've seen pictures of her. She's a very attractive woman. And what's the other girl's name? Danica something.
Danica
She got
Marie.
that tattoo on her chest. That's a
Yep.
very attractive woman. And
Right.
it is what it is. People like looking at attractive women, man. I mean, it just kind of is what it is. Now, if you
Hmm.
want to be a dude, you want to excel in these spaces, then you have to come with something. You got to come with some. I would say originality, but it's not even originality anymore, in my opinion. I
But
think you
just but
gotta.
just be unique. Be unique in some
I'm
way.
not even. I'm not even gonna say unique, because everybody's kind of going
Mhm.
down the same lane.
Oh, so you think
My
everything's been done under the sun so far?
Yeah, my thing, I always tell people on my channel, to get it popping in Black YouTube, especially as a male creator these days, you got to be willing to go over the top with the ratchetness. And I mean, that's the only way that I see this working for a lot of people, man. And
Mhm.
so if you're not one of those dudes, you're not really charismatic, you got a, somewhat of a dull personality or whatever, don't expect to crack 100,000 subscribers. Don't get mad if your super chats aren't flooded. Just focus and do what you do. Build your little micro audience and rock out from there, because everybody's not going to become Kevin Samuels or
Oh yeah.
O'Shea or Angry Man or whoever else is out there. It's just not
Mhm.
possible. But to get mad at the BWs for doing what they do, I mean, did you not think this was not going to happen?
Right.
Like, how long
Right.
did y'all think this was gonna go on? I mean, the writing was on the wall. You could see this in other. I mean, it's kind of like, take it back to the pre-internet era, where we used to go to the nightclub. Nobody wanted to go to the nightclub with a bunch of dudes, man. We only went there because women were there.
Yeah. Some of us were lone wolves. We went by ourselves. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't want to be hanging out with a bunch of I mean, I could chop it up with them at the barbershop or we watching sports, but you know, if we're gonna talk about relationship dynamics, I mean, you're gonna drag these BWs. I mean, it was only expected that they were gonna come on here and give their opinions too. And so now that they're doing it and they're making money, well, you need to learn how to outcompete them if that's what you
So,
want to do.
so it sounds like, because I'm glad we're here because in your professional opinion, if you want to call yourself a content creator, in your professional opinion, one of the things that you see that's missing is just creativity in the space.
Oh yeah,
Would you
yeah,
say
yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean, well, what it is, everybody just wants to talk about the same things, and which is dragging BWs.
Yeah, that's the
Or
new religion.
or you got the old sector, which is mostly full of a bunch of hoteps and pro blacks, is talking about white people ad nauseum all day. So, like I say, within this current lane that we operate in, it's just dragging BWs. I'm just like, I get it. The
Yeah,
BWs and y'all opinions, they're jacked up, they're messed up. But so are some of these dudes. But obviously, it's blasphemy if you say that. But the thing is, what are you going to say that's original and thought that hasn't been said already?
right.
Especially if you want to be successful on YouTube. You're not saying anything that we haven't heard. And people like you and I who existed, who had a life before the internet, we've been hearing this stuff since the 80s and 90s when we were kids
Right.
in some capacity, right?
Yep.
But you got to come with some originality or something else, man. And I tell people, I'm like, listen, this Dizzle channel of mine, I know it's only going to go so far because I'm not willing to do all this crazy ratchet stuff. I mean, I may get a little ignorant here and there, but
Yeah.
I'm not, that's just not who I actually am at my core. You understand? I mean, it's just a part of me, but it's not the predominant part of me.
Right.
I tell people, I got a tech channel, I teach IT, a useful skill that a black male can actually take the information, apply it, and be on an upward trajectory with their career prospects in like literally the next 4 to 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And as that relates to this overall space, isn't this space supposed to be about black male empowerment to a certain degree? But all you
Right.
do is cry about the BWs. So I tell some of these dudes, if you really want to go out there and get it popping, you can have your ratchet happy hour channel, like G Dizzle, that's what I call it. And you can also create another channel that actually has educational, informational stuff based off of your professional experience, your hobbies, or whatever the heck it is that you do that you actually
Right.
enjoy.
Exactly.
And you can be successful that way instead of just trying to go down the ratchet path. And then you're concerned about, well, oh, look at Cynthia G. She cracked 100,000 subscribers. Like, who gives a shit? It was going to happen.
Yeah.
But what value are you bringing? And a lot of
Right.
these dudes, in my opinion, they just don't have any real value. They just want to use this as a place they can whine and cry about a bunch of women that don't want them.
Okay, see, and that is what pretty much got me shot down in the comments when I did the collab with O'Shea because I
Yeah.
said the Black Manosphere became this haven for complaints on black women. That's what I said. And the thing is, I mean, it wasn't a setup or nothing. Shout out to O'Shea. It wasn't a setup or anything because the topic was pretty much is what was is the Black Manosphere helping or hurting men when it comes to dating. And I'm like, well, who is the go-to person when it comes to dating or self-improvement? That was my point. What you did was when you talked about you got literally got men on panels theorizing and breaking out studies on why black women pretty much suck at dating. I'm paraphrasing. I was like, he's right. Niggas are
Yeah.
writing really. We are writing books and doing studies and grabbing data on black women's failures in dating.
Dude, you got dudes out here, and we know who some of them are. They out here doing research on
Yeah,
statistics about why women prefer men under 6 feet,
thank
or
you.
why this woman prefers this. It's like, who gives a damn? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
and you
saying?
literally broke out a photo of who I thought for a second was Stephen Hawking, but it was just another dude with another disability who had a baddie next to him sweating them, and I'm like, yeah, Stephen Hawkins had women fighting over him. This nigga in
Yeah.
a wheelchair, all he can do is smile or frown, and he pulling. He's still grabbing with no problem. And you were right though, and I'm just like, this is where we're at today. And go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say the thing is with dudes that like to get off into the weeds about statistical data on dating habits. From my opinion, these are just a lot of dudes that just cannot accept the reality that women have preferences too.
Right.
Like we have preferences. I'm mostly attracted to light skinned, brown skinned women, and women with big booties and track star bodies. That's my thing. You know what I'm saying? There are women out there that are attracted to certain type of dudes who are,
Yeah.
I'm 6'1". They like tall dudes, or they like light skinned dudes, brown skin, dark, whatever the case may be. And
Yeah.
some of these dudes, they just can't understand this concept because, in my opinion, they don't really have a lot of experience in the field of actually going out there to interact with women face to face, learning how to carry on a conversation, or not even a conversation, just learning how to approach them, then carrying on a conversation where you actually sound like a regular fucking human being and not
Yeah.
some weirdo who's just repeating shit off the internet.
Mhm.
And you got your tic tac in your mouth, you're smelling good, you're looking good, and you can just conducting yourself like a civilized person, man. Just trying to introduce yourself and get to know somebody.
Right.
When we come into
And
this space, these dudes, they are some of the content creators and some of the audience members, they are running off of talking points and are actually trying to apply this crap in reality and
right.
not getting the results that everybody on the internet. Because I was listening to I don't know if you're familiar with Ramil.
Oh yes, sir.
So I was
Yeah.
listening to
Ramil
his
Mill.
panel.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my dude, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Ramil.
he has a philosophy that I don't agree with, but he's still
Pump and
very
dump.
entertaining. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, well, I'm not gonna say I don't agree with it. We was pumping and dumping back in our day. We just
Yeah,
didn't
but
have the
but
name
we were
for it.
pumping and dumping the ratchet shit. We were ratchet, so we did ratchet
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, yeah. At some point, you gotta eventually chill out and just understand you can't. I just don't believe you can pump and dump for the rest of your life like that. But anyways, there was a bunch of dudes on his panel yesterday, right? Every last dude on the panel was talking about how they don't take women out for dates. They holler at a chick and they can smash on the first date without even really getting to know these chicks. They just coming over and they just smashing. And they had like maybe one or two dudes giving pushback, like, "What? That is insane." And it was, "Oh, you a simp, you a simp." And I'm listening to these dudes. I'm like, "Hey man, all you niggas is lying. Like that. You may every now and then you might be able to pull off the one night stand, but they are talking
Yeah.
like this is an everyday occurrence. You just go out
Mm,
there, meet a chick, hey, I'm such and such. Next thing you know, she's in the car topping you off. Like,
right.
like where does this work? Like, what
Right.
reality do y'all exist in? But the problem is the audience that watches this, especially those that don't really have a lot of experience, they might soak this up as true to life knowledge and actually try to go out there and apply this shit in the real world. And now, next thing you know, you see them on the news getting arrested for being hiding out in some chick's ceiling or attic. Did you hear about that story about some dude? That,
Yeah, it's like somebody had a stalker.
yeah,
It was somebody popular, and this was like their stalker or something like that. I think.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the rhetoric is out of control, and I don't think a lot of people really understand the difference between entertainment and what actually works in reality. And I think Black YouTube in general,
Yeah.
the lines are just getting heavily blurred, man, and it's going to be a little bit problematic moving forward, as far as I can see.
I'm like this. There's only two reasons you should have content on YouTube: to either inform or
Mhm.
to entertain. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
You any other reason? I don't know. I don't know what the third reason would be. You
Mhm.
should be the entertainment, like all this shit. I call social entertainment because you still can mix a little bit of nonfiction in. It's like you and I can still make content about dating and still keep it real. And yeah, you'll throw in a few little sense of humor up in there, like the pump and dump shit is that's sense and humor shit. But then you
Mhm.
can still come in the end of the day and just be like, but pump and dumping is a numbers game, and that's the reality of it. Like you said, it's a possibility, but the
Mhm.
probability is very, very low when it comes to a one night stand.
Yeah.
Very, very low. Like you said, you ain't just running out there and just going crazy mode one at 100% successful rate. You're not. But I think what's missing was like the entertainment, like the quality of the entertaining aspect. So I'm gonna go ahead and ask you, since you actually have two channels, and this is my first, and I try to be informative as well. That's why I have specials. I have one for the ladies, Iron Fire, and one for the men, Good Bar Boulevard. Shout out
Yeah.
to Ron Wills, Mr. Lucario.
Yeah.
And I've kind of like noticed that a lot of cats really don't know how to create informative content as well as be an entertainment. So do you think in like Black YouTube, even the Black Manosphere, is there a, I want to say, an instruction missing on how to create a successful channel, minus the Patreon, because everybody got a Patreon, but you got to sign up for their Patreon if you want to get schooled on how to get good content. But
Mhm.
in the black space, do you think there's just a lack of, guidance when it comes to creating good content to get to have a successful platform?
You gotta know something and be really good at it. Have successes at it before you can go out there and try to educate people in whatever it is that you're trying to do. Um, you might have dudes that you might have dudes that actually meet that criteria. They're experts at what they do. They know how to do it, but then they run into a problem is, well, they don't know how to present information to teach. And what do I
Mm.
mean? So I'll give you another example. There's a channel called the Black Brain Trust with a dude called Complex Design. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but
I
he
never
he,
heard.
he always pops up on Ramil's channel.
Mm.
Complex
Shout out.
Design. Yeah, yeah. No shade to him, but
Yeah, shout out, shout out.
I,
Yeah.
I've said this to him in the comments, but whatever. He is a very knowledgeable dude about tech. A lot of high level stuff, but his problem is he doesn't know how to relate the information in layman's terms to where the average everyday person could comprehend it in an
Mm.
easy, digestible
He-
manner.
He's far from remedial, huh?
Yeah, he's very smart, and when he
Yeah.
talks, I can keep up with about a good 80 to 85% of the conversation. But when we look at the audience that he's presenting this information to, which is mostly black YouTube people, dude, it's flying over their heads. They're like, "Huh? It sounds cool," but they're not really comprehending this crap. You got to be good at what it is that you do,
Mm.
have successes in it, and be very versed in it. But you also have to know how to present and package up information to teach it to people, especially those who are not familiar with what you do. And so
Mhm.
I don't know if there's a lot of content creators that are capable of doing that successfully. Um, they may know something here and there, but they just can't really present it or whatever the case may be. So maybe that's why you don't see a lot of there isn't like this heavy focus on educational content as opposed to entertainment content, because entertainment content
Mm. Yeah,
with
it's
what
tough.
we're accustomed to seeing, it doesn't take any real skill. All you gotta do is just cut the camera on, start live streaming, and start cracking jokes and start talking ratchet. And whoever
Yeah.
talks the most ratchet is gets the most super chats and likes. You know what I'm saying? Even though hardly any of that stuff is really going to be able to benefit your life in a positive manner. So maybe that's part of the reason we just don't have dudes that are skilled, and then also they can't really package up and present information in a methodical manner that where a freaking middle schooler could comprehend it. They just don't know how to do it. You know what I mean? No, I mean, I'm not saying that because the reason I'm saying it is because I teach IT. So my Tech G channel, I grew it from 0 subscribers starting in April or May of 2020, and now we're about 7,500 subs presently. I'll probably crack 10,000. But the information is digestible for literally a middle schooler to comprehend it. And I did it like that on purpose to the best of my ability because I
Mm.
want people, because I created the channel to target black people. Be like, yeah, I can talk ignorant and ratchet, but don't let that fool you. I'm a highly educated dude. I've been doing tech for 20 damn years. I'm ex-military, 3 college degrees, all of them in STEM. Well, 2 of them in
Nice.
STEM and an MBA. So I know what I'm talking about. But
Right.
how can I present this information to those of you who want to learn tech, but I don't want to bombard you with tech lingo, tech jargon. I got to
Yeah.
make this digestible for you.
I kind of like how where this is going because this is leading into everything that I felt that was, kind of in disgust by some of the supporters in the Black Manosphere.
Mhm.
Basically, everything that just came out of your mouth. You know what you are? You're the uppity Negro.
Ah,
Yeah, you're the uppity Negro. I'm the uppity Negro. Is it possible? Do Black Manosphere supporters do they have a disdain for the successful Black family man?
well, there's a disdain for successful black people, period. I mean, even
Yeah.
offline, you can see, I'm pretty sure you got family members like I do that aren't as successful. And look, success is a relative term, but some people look at me and they think, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. They
Yeah.
think I'm rich, they think I'm all that. There's disdain towards happy people too. People just don't
Yeah.
They can't fathom the idea that people are happy with them. It's like me being married. I've been married for 16 years to my wife. People can't understand that. Yo, I love my wife. I'm happy with the woman. I mean, she's the best thing. She's the best thing for me. You know what I'm saying? And was the best thing for me at the time. I mean, it's not like I didn't have options to pick from, and she had options too. We decided we were the best option. People can't seem to comprehend that. How could you be happy being married? Because I don't want to be out in them streets in the clubs just chasing random tail every chance I get.
And they coming back on the Black Manosphere platform and complaining about it like y'all niggas.
You know what I'm saying? Because I like to say I found what y'all are looking for. I found the woman that fits all these traits. I found her. We met each other when we were like 24, 25 years old. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So I found it early on. And y'all are still looking for that in your 30s and 40s and beyond. But I found it. You know what I'm saying? And I decided to lock it down with her. And we've been creating a life that we've been creating. So some people, they just can't seem to understand it. They think that we're all supposed to be just unhappy, miserable, going through the dating woes, pumping and dumping, hoes is winning, yada, yada, yada. It's like, that's not everybody's life, man. But they want you to think that's how everything is supposed to be. It's like, no, this is just internet jibber jabber for super chats. That doesn't necessarily, that doesn't always translate. I'm not saying that what these brothers say is 100% false, because no, a lot of the things can be applied to a lot of people, but that doesn't mean that everybody is like that. But in order for you to discover that, you have to get off the internet, spending 5-6 hours in live streams, or whether you're participating or just in the comment section, and take your ass out there into the real world and get out there and actually mingle with people. And then you'll discover as to whether or not this is true or this BS, or is it a blend of both? You know what I'm saying?
But you witnessed a live stream on a Saturday night and it was packed, and you was like, why ain't these niggas out? Why ain't y'all out socializing?
I was like, these dudes are complaining about women, but here we are. It's Saturday, 9 p.m., and this particular content creator got like 150 dudes in the box. Half of y'all could be out there at the clubs right now,
practicing.
Ready to go. Exactly, but y'all are literally online watching this dude complain about women when you could be out there talking to women, meeting women, trying to put your bid in to see what your odds of success are going to be, because you're never going to be successful until you actually go out there and take a couple swings. You got to figure out how this thing works.